Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. I hope you've been having an awesome June. I know it's just only the beginning, but from the previous videos that we did, I know you're really kicking butt and I know you're already nailing those to-do lists. So on today's video, I am going to be sharing something that some of you guys suggested on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and do so. The link is down here below. So I asked you guys what more videos you'd like to see me do, and quite a number of people said that they would like to see me videos sharing the hardships of an entrepreneur. Now, there are some other people that also wanted me to share the hardships of becoming a female entrepreneur particularly, and I'm going to be sharing that another time in another video because that's a different story for another time. But I think more than anything, it's also important to realize that entrepreneurship is just difficult a majority of the time, whether or not you are a man or you are a woman or whatever the case is. It's really tough. And you know, I personally never walk in rooms and say I am a female entrepreneur. I really just walk in rooms knowing that I am an entrepreneur, and my gender does not necessarily influence and reflects the type of entrepreneur that I am. So I always carry that with me and don't really, you know, put a crown about being a female entrepreneur and then get to my head like that level, because then I'm going to be caught up in all these politics and this and this, and I'm not about that. I'm trying to make money, I'm trying to influence life, and that's it. And if someone else is going to be offended or really think that my gender, that is their own issue and that doesn't belong to me, and I'm going to keep making my coin. Okay, so let's get into the video. I'm going to be sharing with you guys 4 things that I've noted down that are a bit of huddles, and these are things I've gotten to learn over time, but that's really what happens when you are an entrepreneur. Let me first say that being an entrepreneur, it is such a blessing, and more than anything, it is not for everyone. It is really important to realize that I do think that you can train somebody to be an entrepreneur, but not everyone is entrepreneurial inclined. So for those that do not know, actually, so that you kind of get a bit of context, I own 2 businesses. I run a beauty bar that is in Roodepoort in Cosmo City, and I also have an events and design company, and I also freelance as far as marketing is concerned based on my corporate experience and together with my personal brand that's now run as a business, and my YouTube videos or my YouTube channel that I now run it as a business. So those are the different entities that I run, sometimes at different times. So the first thing I'm going to be sharing with you guys is separating work time versus personal time or home time. That is such a big thing that I don't think I think in the beginning I used to beat myself up about it until I realized that, okay, a lot of people actually go through it. I'm not the only one, and it is really such a struggle for majority of people. I find myself waking up in the morning, grabbing my phone and working, or grabbing my laptop and working. And I mean, I remember talking to somebody and I was saying to them, I hate the fact that I'm always on my phone, but the honest truth is whenever I'm on my phone, I am doing nothing other than working, literally. And it's like separating, you know, your work number versus your personal number, separating when do you take work calls, when do you take personal calls. Those things can be very, very difficult to really put boundaries around, mainly because like my businesses are not like mega businesses. They are really they're small businesses, and that means that I normally do the boss running around of things. I normally do delegate every now and then, but I run the majority of the project. I'm the one that pays the bills. I'm the one that is to be sitting down and strategizing and all those things. There isn't like a humongous team. If people are employed as part of the businesses, they're employed to do particular tasks that are about undertaking that particular task. So that for me has been really interesting because I found myself working 24 hours, and sometimes I'm good at it. Sometimes I'm really good at separating the time, and then sometimes all these things like my personal brand, the salon, my events company, the design part of my events company will all want my attention, and then it's just a mess to just separate that. So I'll find myself working over and over again. But I try to prioritize whenever I can. I really try to schedule. I try to delegate, which is something that I want to get into this year, actually towards coming into next year. Number 2 is managing your costs. This again it's very interesting. I have actually learned in all of my businesses that it's not about how much money you make, but it's about how much money you can keep, right? You can make 1,000 Rand today in your business, but if you don't know how to manage your costs, you will actually not even make any profit, because you are going to, you know, put all of that money towards the cost of running the business, and then after you've paid your people, you've got nothing that's left to you. So I've really learned to kind of be more financial savvy. That's also where I started reading a lot more financial books and getting a lot more financial help, and I think it's really important as an entrepreneur to really get that information and to get that financial help so that it can enable you to move a bit more forward and get a better understanding of how you can actually run your costs in your business so that you don't run yourself out. And this is actually a mistake that I made with my events company when I started it in 2015. The reason why it was such an up and down, the reason I actually had to go back to corporate around 2016 was mainly because my business wasn't doing so well. I didn't know how to manage my cost. I literally made money and I ate it. I didn't keep enough money to actually be able to run the business. So when there was quiet times and the jobs were not coming in, the business couldn't function. I couldn't pay for my marketing. I couldn't do much. So that was a lesson I learned the hard way. And now I'm like, got you, I can do this. So that's a really important lesson that you need to learn, which also interleads to the third lesson that I want to share with you guys, which is managing your money. It also goes hand in hand with managing the cost, but most importantly, managing your money. Sometimes if you can manage your cost properly, that's great, and you've got money in the account that's there for the business. There's always that thing like, what do you do with it? Do you just sit with the money in your account and like not do anything with it, or do you try and invest it into other projects or invest it into that same business that you can make a little bit more? So I've just really spent time to really know how to be able to be financially savvy within the business. And I mean, it's still a journey. Some days I don't know what to do, and personally, luckily my husband is in finance, so it's so much easier for me to kind of sit down with him and go through the finances, and he would be able to kind of guide and teach me how to do these things. But it is really important for people to be able to, I mean, get a small accounting firm. You know, if you've got somebody that's got a small accounting firm, get them to be able to help you, and just don't get somebody who's only going to be like, cool, just move this and do this. Make them teach you and make you understand how do you move money, how do you manage money within your business so that you are able to do it for the longevity process. You look at now, if you look at the companies that are going bankrupt, companies that are closing right now, you find that majority of the time it's a cash flow thing. They did not have enough money in their reserves. They didn't even make enough money to be able to carry them out through a pandemic. So as small businesses, we need to be able to still last, because majority of the businesses right now during this thing that's happening around the world might not even reopen, mainly because there really is not enough money to still carry on and to still proceed with the business. So that's something I'm very wary of, and that's something that I really want to be able to learn a little bit more. But I think that as an entrepreneur, it's something you need to definitely invest in. Number 4, and the last lesson that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, is improving your emotional intelligence. Guys, let me tell you something. As an entrepreneur, you should never, and I mean ever, wherever you go, wear your emotions on your sleeves. And I think we could even take this as far as like women are concerned. You know, women are very emotional beings, and men can pull a poker face very easily. They can lie, and they can say things, and they can sell a product. But you need to learn to be emotionally intelligent within you running a business. You need to be able to make decisions outside of emotion. Like, you will have a project to run, and at home there's a fight, or you're not feeling well, or whatever the case is, you need to still be able to run the project. You could be going through the worst of time in your personal lives, and business still has to run, and you still need to be able to separate that part of you. And I know sometimes we talk about how your business is always an extension of who you are. That is very true, but at some point it gets to a point where it begins to grow, and then it begins to come outside of who you are. It starts becoming stuff like, if a client has paid for services, you must deliver. Whether or not there's period pain, whether or not you're not getting along at home, whether or not you're not feeling too great emotionally, you need to have emotional intelligence and really just learn to kind of separate that moment of, okay, cool, I'm not fine right now, but let me switch to doing this. And this is something that I personally have actually managed to crack very well. I think for me, it's very innate. I actually work the greatest if I am not okay, if I'm emotionally not fine, because for me, it becomes a let out. So I get a little bit more creative and because I need a space to kind of let out that emotion, or that energy rather. So I do that quite well, and it is something that I would really urge some of you guys to practice. If you are running a business, learn to detach from your emotion when things need to get done. And I know that sounds a little bit insensitive, doesn't it? Like, what do you mean detach from my emotion? You need to learn how to detach from emotions, because you could wake up the next morning and have a huge fight with your partner, and that same morning you've got a very important meeting that's going to take your business to the next level. Are you literally do you want to go to that meeting with your bags up red and all those things, and you're not okay, or you're going to cancel because you're not finding your foot? You can't. You have to get up in the morning and you have to dress up and you have to do what you got to do, and you have to go and grab that deal. If you have a pitch the next morning and last night wasn't so great, or you have the worst period pain ever, the period pain thing, I've been through it multiple times, and let me tell you something, the Lord needs to just end this thing. But you look at those things and you realize that I'm in pain right now. You know, like when you start feeling sick and you want to throw up and you're getting heat flashes and everything just doesn't make sense, and you've got to pitch the next morning, you get up, you put your best outfit and you go and you nail that pitch. And that's what entrepreneurship is about. It's really just us still thriving through and still moving through even during the tough times. So those are my 4 things that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that they've been helpful. Let me know, what are the things that you also find really hard, or some of the biggest pillars of you being an entrepreneur? Please do share them down below on the comment section, and how do you deal with them? Or if it's any of those 4 things that I mentioned, how have you dealt with these 4 things? So thank you so much for watching this video. I also hope that you are, again, still having an awesome one, and you're keeping safe in this level 3, because in South Africa we are in level 3 of lockdown, and I hope that you're keeping safe. I'm excited for your growth, and I hope that you're growing. I hope that you're still continuing to plan for June, like we said in the video that we did a few days ago. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Have an awesome one. Bye.